Hello and welcome to another game. Um, this time we're playing with Godkiller Keith and ILN, and it looks like we're playing with a huge assortment of decks. There's a couple possibilities in this pack. I could take Village Druid and hope to wheel Bagpiper, because Bagpiper's great for that strategy, or Fisherman's Apprentice is also great for Village Druid, just ways to play a bunch of Ox quickly, build up food, or sheep if you find animal strategies, but I think I'm just going to pick Debt Collector. Debt Collector is very strong and goes in pretty much any strategy. Oh, sorry, let me minimize this. Lots of new cards in this pack. So, Trimmer, you get. Okay, so it says in each work phase. I don't understand this card. I guess the in each work phase means you don't trigger it with like start of round or in harvest fencing, but it doesn't have to be on your turn. That's just weirdly worded to me. Furniture Carpenter, if somebody owns Joinery, you can buy a point for 2 food. That doesn't seem very good. Hollow Warden is Parquet Setter is strong. The other card I'm considering here is Outrider. Debt Collector makes it easier to trigger because you can put a guest on round 12 or 13 and then you're guaranteed to be able to trigger the round that flips if you want without even having to take start player. Yeah, I don't know. Parquet Sitter is definitely a higher power level card, but I am a fan of Outrider. I think I'm higher than most people on the most recent round card spaces. I think you can set up to play them well. I'll try Outrider. Wow, so this card has a lot going on. Collector is actually a card I'm a big fan of. I think you can do very powerful things with it. Even without something like Mendicant, I think the advantage you get from this is very high. Master Builder is just a strong card, but given that we want a family grow without room, probably don't necessarily need it. Nutrition Expert. 1 animal, 1 grain, and 1 veggie for 5 food and 2 bonus points. I think Collector probably wheels. I don't know exactly what its power is or how other people rate it, but I know in general, like when you first start playing, or even for a while after you start playing, it doesn't read very strong. Like I think you really have to play with this card to appreciate that it's pretty decent. So, I think I'll take Nutrition Expert. That plus Collector is a pretty powerful combo. Food Critic would also be a fine wheel because you're exchanging these for food. So, well, you have to bake the grain, so you can't put the grain on, but you can put the animal and the vegetable on Food Critic with this. So I'll go with the Nutrition Expert. So how you play Nutrition Expert generally is you try to, well, basically a lot of it is being able to take point ceiling cards like Nutrition Expert because you need a pretty high point ceiling to offset the baking cards, but generally you want to fence in early or mid game so that you can take cow and boars with the Nutrition Expert, or not the Collector, and start getting breeding pairs going, and then you can turn those breeding pairs, and you can also take grain veggie and sow them, and then you can turn all of those into bonus points with whatever bonus point cards you took. Yeah, so I think I'm going to draft around collector coming back. If it doesn't, it'll be a bit of a bummer, but that's okay. So this card doesn't give bonus points. I don't know what exactly the symbol means, but Truffle Searcher holds cows based on the number of completed feeding phases. So the amount of, boars it holds goes up. That's interesting. It's like the opposite of paleontologists, which I'm not necessarily a fan of. I mean, I think you want to be able to hold animals early, and then later in the game you can fence. For scientists, I'm not sure it's good. We'll probably have plenty of food with, what's it called? Between collector and nutrition expert and stuff. Child prodigy is a way to increase bonus points, but I mean, I don't know, that's suspect. Master Shepherd is probably the pick. It's the best card if we don't wheel collector because it can set us up animals for nutrition expert. But I don't know. Child prodigy, you've spent this. It's probably hard to get it up for your first family grow. So if you family grow late for your fourth and fifth family member, you can play this and then spend 4 wood for 4 points. That's not a very good rate. I'll just take the Master Shepherd. Wow. So Bagpiper and Village Druid came back. Seed Master is interesting. Astronomer. I do like Astronomer in general, and it increases your point ceiling. But we're not going to family grow that much, I think. I'm surprised Village Druid Bagpipe came back. What was in our pack? I can't even remember. These were the other cards I was looking at other than Deck Collector. There was Fisherman's Apprentice, so somebody has that, but yeah, I mean, how can I not take Village Druid here? I guess Bagpiper is very strong. So let's see. You can family grow pretty quickly with Collector because you can take Reed with it, like Reed Stone, animals, grain veggie. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know what we do here. Astronomer, how do we set this up? So you need family members. What actions are we likely to take? We're probably going to be taking plow. We probably aren't going to be taking grain, though. That's one of the things you want with Astronomer, like occupation, plow, grain, and start player day labor is a normal play pattern, and we're not really interested in taking grain. So I think Bagpiper Village Druid is the pick here. Yeah, I'll just take Village Druid. We want to turn a lot of animals into points, so this will allow us to keep breeding cow and boar if we take them off collector, and then turn sheep and grain veggie into food, or into points. I don't remember what was in the Outrider pack, but I remember it was pretty bad, so we probably won't wheel anything good from it. Maybe there will be a bonus point card. I don't even remember. I know there was like the shepherd, your sheep can double breed card, which is really bad. There was, oh wow, Parquet Setter came back. That's surprising. I think we want to plow somewhat early, so Parquet Setter is nice. No, we should play Hollow Warden. Hollow Warden allows us to play the fireplace and get a sheep immediately. Hollow Warden is great with Village Druid, so we can't get blocked by major improvement flipping late on our Village Druid. Hollow Warden is excellent for us. Okay, Collector didn't come back. That is a bit of a bummer, but we should be fine. Basically what that means is we're going to need to focus on getting veggies a lot. We're probably going to have to take veggies frequently and then sow them so we can start triggering Nutrition Expert a lot. Minstrel. That card doesn't seem awful, but Food Critic's definitely the pick here. We can easily get all the animals and veggie on here and probably grain, because we might have a lot of grain with Outrider. It's and then just take fishing once, so we can easily get however many points, 6 points off Food Critic. What we're looking for here is ways to get animals, or sorry, vegetables if possible, but there's a lot of powerful cards here. So Evening Prayer is interesting because we can go, we can double plow to set up for sowing, and then we can play Evening Prayer and immediately go Village Druid, Hollow Warden, get a sheep, and build the fireplace. Steel Plow is very strong, but given I think we want to sow relatively early, I think Evening Prayer might be better. Ram is also strong, but this pack is strong, so we might be able to wheel it. Steamer does not work with Food Critic. You need to bake grain. So, yeah. Oh, I forgot Food Critic needs to convert building resources to food. I don't know why I forgot that. But so, veggie, food, all 3 animals is 5, so we need to convert either a grain or building resources to get to 4 points, which is really what you want with Food Critic, so I'll have to look out for ways to convert building resources. I do think Evening Prayer is the pick here, though. Steel Plow is extremely strong, but yeah, I mean, Evening Prayer is similar to Plows, but I'm just a huge fan of Evening Prayer. I think it's extremely strong. So Wooden Buttons, not something we're looking for. Witch's Dance's Ground is a good card. Apple Garden, like you would think Apple Garden isn't great for us, but it does allow us to convert like all our resources, all our vegetables to Nutrition Expert and still get points for veggies, so we could consider it. Swimming Class is definitely powerful. It takes a lot to line it up right, but it's pretty easy to get at least 2 points off of this. It helps your point ceiling. It's definitely between Witch's Dance's Ground and Swimming Class here, although Field is decent with Evening Prayer. I'll go with Witch's Dance's Ground. I think it's a very strong card. Yeah, so I'm a bit sad we didn't wheel Collector, but I don't know if I stand by my decision. I'm going to check the draft after this game to see whether Nutrition Expert or Collector has higher power. If we were playing with someone like Payne, who normally goes for like very unconventional strategies, I would definitely take Collector, but off the top of my head, I don't think Godkiller Keith or ILN necessarily go for unconventional strategies. At least not in the way that Payne does. Payne almost always tries to do like cool combos. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a drink. All right, I'm back. Um, yeah, the main struggle with my setup this game is going to be getting veggies. That was the biggest benefit for collector. It was going to be nice to get animals from it, but now that we have this village druid and master shepherd, we're pretty good on animals. Wow, 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 wow. So pumpkin pie is a crazy card, and I don't think I want to let the collector have it. The fact that it's still here makes me pretty certain that the collector is ILN, because pumpkin pie is just such a crazy card with collector. Um, yeah. I think we have to just take the pumpkin pie. I don't think passing pumpkin pie to collector is reasonable. Pumpkin pie does inhibit nutrition expert. They don't really go together, but uh, yeah, I just don't think I can allow that to happen. Free range chickens is fine, but uh, yeah, pumpkin pie is just crazy, especially with a collector game. That I don't think I can allow that to happen. We might not even play it ourselves, but wow. So hand truck is is strong in some ways. It works well with like pumpkin pie and the fact that we want to be bake at least once for food critic. Housecoat's obviously crazy, but I think we want to be able to hold animals in our farm. Uh, Bountiful Harvest is very strong. We can probably get at least 4 points off of it. I think it's between um, Hand Truck and Bountiful Harvest, and I'm still considering Housecoat just because it's so strong. Uh, I'm gonna go with Bountiful Harvest, I think. I really wish we had a way to get an early veggie. Something like Hobby Farmer would be excellent in this game, but um, alas, it didn't work out. Yeah, I'm very sad we didn't take Collector now that we saw Pumpkin Pie. Pumpkin Pie is perfect for a Collector game. Yeah, I just don't think we can take Housecoat when we're playing Village Druid and Master Shepherd and Nutrition Expert. Um, it's possible we'll fence early, but if we're fencing early, I think Bountiful Harvest is better because Bountiful Harvest will give us a lot of points if we fence early. How easy is it to get a lot of grain with Hand Truck? I mean, it's alright, but we're not planning on. Like, we're gonna play Outrider for grain, I think. I'm gonna go with Bountiful Harvest. I like the card a lot. Ram is definitely the pick here. So Ram allows us to uh, we can just build one stable and then a room in one stable, and then Ram can start breeding, which is great for Bountiful Harvest. So Ram counts as a sheep for breeding, but it doesn't occupy space in your farm. Like it doesn't have to be held. So if you have one stable, you can hold a sheep in the stable or your house. It will breed with the ram, and then you'll have room for the newborn in the other position. So ram is great for triggering Bountiful Harvest on top of just being a good card in general. So easy pick. Field is the pick here, just to make sure we can trigger Evening Prayer. Flail would possibly be decent this game for us if we want to go for Pumpkin Pie over Nutrition Expert, which we can consider doing, but Field, I think, is the pick. it sets up evening prayer excellently. So free range chickens is good here. So we're gonna sow grain pretty early, I think, because we'll probably play Outrider, and then we'll try to build up grain and sow, so we can possibly play pumpkin pie later, because pumpkin pie you need a ton of grain because you have to bake a grain, and then you have to exchange an additional grain for the points. So you need 2 grain every time you do this exchange. So you need more grain than you need veggies. So we want to sow grain pretty early if possible. And since we can't get veggies early, sowing grain is the only way to trigger bountiful harvest. So free range chickens is great. Very sad that we didn't wheel collector. We would have an incredible collector game. So my play pattern this game is going to be taking 3 wood or redstone food and then plowing probably. I will take 2 clay over playing an Ock just because evening prayer is super important for us, and taking the clay kind of sets us up for first fireplace, which we want with village druid, so we can do our evening prayer into village druid hollow warden by the fireplace plan. Yeah, I mean, the one thing that's going to be a little bit awkward is just if we do have to take 2 clay. I mean, obviously that's not great, but we don't necessarily have a game that needs redstone food, so I'm not too sad about that. We definitely want 3 wood though, so I'll be sad if we can't get 3 wood. I might even take 3 wood over redstone food, honestly. I'd rather go 3 wood plow. We should be fine on food with village druid, hollow warden. Yeah, we should be fine because we can also play Outrider before the first harvest to try to start building up grain. Looks like both Keith and Godkiller left for a second. So the one thing that definitely will not be a problem for us this game is point ceiling. We should have a humongous point ceiling. So like I'm not worried about playing Witches Dance's ground or whatever. I like one of the problems with this is that it covers up spaces on your field or on your farm for rooms, fields, or pastures to get points, but we definitely don't need to worry about that. I'll be fine fencing tight. I'll be fine with only 3 or maybe 4 rooms. Yeah, this is probably a 3-room game where I just try to family grow relatively early, and then we just abuse all our point ceiling cards. I definitely want to see family grow in round 5 this game. We're going 4th, so this is good, fine for us if we get 3 wood, but if somebody else takes 3 wood, we're going to be in a bad spot. Like I said, I'll take 2 clay over playing an occupation, but we first picked evening prayer, so nobody else knows we have this, and I didn't see any other alm cards in the game, so I think as far as I know, there's a good chance we get 3 wood, but you never know what people are going to do. Yep, Island plays the collector. We were correct that the collector probably would have taken the pumpkin pie. Also good that he played an Ock first action. It makes it more likely we'll get 3 wood. Hopefully we didn't see a mendicant or anything, so looks like Island is just playing collector the fair way. Hopefully Keith plays an Ock. Be very unfortunate. Oh god. Yeah, I mean I'd have to take 2 clay here. Very unfortunate for us. Not a great start for us. It's fine. It guarantees his first fireplace, but that's not that great because sheep didn't flip, so first fireplace isn't as relevant. We really want to wheel plow here. I'll be fine with taking start player field, but I obviously would much rather just plow field. Yeah, the worst case scenario for us is if plow, occupation, and start player all get taken. Island plays Tree Gardener, a card I like. Looks like Island first picked this card. Don't know if it necessarily synergizes with Collector, but it's a perfectly fine card. Just gets you a good amount of wood. We cut a lot of the cards that you want with Collector, which is good. The Food Critic, well, Island wouldn't have had the chance to wheel Food Critic, but Pumpkin Pie obviously we cut, but Bountiful Harvest, Free Range Chicken, and Ram are all also fine with Collector. Keith plays Lumber, so we need Plow here. Or Godkiller plays Lumber. If Keith plows here, our game is a disaster. Looks like Keith took 2 wood, thankfully. Being third here isn't great. I would rather Godkiller take 2 wood and Keith take start player, but I'm not going to get too picky because Keith might have plowed. Godkiller playing Bagpiper first action. Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm not normally a fan of playing Bagpiper like this, but it's possible that Godkiller has has miners that want lots of Ox. I have no idea what ILN took over Bagpiper. There were good cards left in the pack, and we saw Village Druid. Oh, Island probably has Astronomer. That's a point stealing card. We will take 2 read here for sure. We want to build a room quickly. Second action, Plow. Major Minor didn't flip, so our fireplace is pretty protected. It's going to be hard for anybody to jump us. Godkiller playing Fisherman's Apprentice. Interesting that he's going to try to wheel a knock. It might work. Keith will probably play a knock here, which is so I don't like doing this because I think it just gives Keith the food. Yeah, I don't think that was a good play. I think he was fine in assuming that me and ILN aren't playing Ox. My taking 2 clay pretty much telegraphs it, and ILN can't really afford to. But Keith, I don't see why Keith wouldn't play an Ox there, so I'm not a fan of that. I guess maybe the thought process is Keith took 3 wood over playing an Ock, but that's way less of a telegraph than taking 2 clay over playing an Ock. This is a bad way to plow. I should plow like that. Actually, no, I should plow like this, sorry. Island playing stone cart, so we went 4th, 3rd, 4th, not great for us. Yeah, really unfortunate. Island's play is interesting. Island might have to like first action take food. I guess Island will probably take like 4 wood over food if it comes to him, or maybe even read stone food. I don't know. I'm interested to see how Island tries to make collector work. I don't remember what was in our first pack that would work with collector, but Island first picked tree gardener, and every pack after collector I took all the cards that might have synergized with it. So yeah, I'm curious how Island plans to up their point ceiling enough. Maybe they're hoping for like late family grow, because that's another possibility with collector where the actions are so scarce that the efficiency you get from collector is worth it. And so, like, even with a low point ceiling, you just get there by having a pretty farm when everybody else's farm sucks, kind of like Cowboy and Mother works. But, yeah, I mean, in general, when I play collector, I try to just up my point ceiling as much as possible. Godkiller, interestingly, leaving this 2 wood spot, which means he probably wants Reedstone food. So he's thinking if Island takes Reedstone food, he'll get 4 wood. Or he just thinks Island will take Reedstone food and he wants 4 wood. I mean, it's interesting to see what's going on here. What happened to my field? I don't know why it got deleted. Island first actioning fishing, which is pretty wild. Island needs food, but I think Island could safely wheel the Ock there. Godkiller playing Humble Farm Boy. Probably not great for us. We plan on playing a good amount of occupations, but that's fine. Luckily for us, Major Minor didn't flip, so our fireplace is super protected. One of our actions will be start player. It will probably be first so that I can play an occupation if occupation wheels. Keith will take Reedstone food here, I imagine. Yeah. We will start player, evening prayer, play village druid, hollow warden. We'll be able to take sheep next round, which is good. Island might just take 3 wood here, honestly. Or 3 food. 3 wood is the other possible action, yeah. I'm not sure what I'll play. So, 4 clay's gone. If Keith plays an Ock here, I might just take 3 food over playing another Ock. I could take a grain. I should probably play an Ock, I think. Master Shepherd would be fine. I'll probably first action 3 wood next round. First actioning 3 wood is a bit sketchy because it means Island can take 2 reed and Godkiller's can take reedstone food, and then everybody will be set up to build in front of me, but Keith will probably build a room. So I might not be in the worst position. Okay, so we can play an Ock here, so I'll definitely play Outrider. I think get this going. I think I want to save Master Shepherd for Nutrition Expert. Yeah, I think I want to play Outrider here. We'll take 3 wood here for sure. We don't have to take sheep next action, so I could play a miner and get a grain. I think I'll play a miner, or yeah, play a miner and get a grain. Probably Bountiful Harvest. I can also, yeah, that's probably best. Island taking food. Godkiller, I assume, is taking 2 reed or reedstone food here. Interesting that Godkiller played Bagpiper and Fisherman's Apprentice with Humble Farm Boy. That doesn't really seem like natural cards that work together. I think Godkiller might just be giving up on the Humble Farm Boy points. Keith, hopefully we'll build a room here. Nope. That is unfortunate. So what do I want to do here? I think I want to build up grain. Yeah, I'll just play Bountiful Harvest. I'm start player right now, so we should be able to take 4 wood, which is good. Next round, I doubt somebody will cut 2 wood, which is good for us because it means we'll be able to build a room and a stable, which sets us up for Ram to work. Taking Major Miner also means nobody can swipe our sheep. We do have to watch out for the stone fence card, whatever it's called, the cost 4 stone unless you fence a small pasture. So if Keith gets to a 4 stone, we have to watch out for him jacking our sheep. So Island playing Drinker of Absinthe. It's pretty early for that, but none of these other actions are good, so 1 food Ock is pretty nice. Yeah, there's a lot I want to do here. It's going to be difficult to set up Bountiful Harvest. For the round 7 harvest, I think it will have to come in this harvest. Oh, Godkiller hasn't moved yet. I don't know. Somebody must have just sent their farm. Oh, Island fed. Godkiller playing Clubhouse. Interesting that Godkiller's not building. That means Keith can build here. Godkiller might be trying to double build with the Reedstone food action. But, yeah, I mean, that's interesting to me. Clubhouse, obviously a good card for food and a stone and a point for 2 clay is a pretty crazy rate. This doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why it would be 3 wood or 2 clay. I think it should be 2 wood or 3 clay, because obviously spending clay is easier to do than spending wood. Clay is less valuable for wood, so I don't know why you would ever want to spend more more wood than clay. That just seems backwards to me. I think this, yeah, I think if you're gonna offer this choice, you should do either 2 wood. I think it should be 2 wood or 3 clay for this card. Breeder Buyer coming out from Keith. Interesting that Keith is doing this. Keith is gonna do clay house strategies. That's why he didn't try to build the room. Godkiller in great position here. Godkiller's going to get to build the first room in round 5 just because Keith is going for a strategy. So what I know Keith is doing is there was a card that whenever you build a clay room, you get 2 food and a point. So with Bricklayer and Breeder Buyer, Keith is going to try to build a lot of rooms. Hopefully we get 4 wood here. That'd be best for us. Oh, I didn't remove my stuff. 4 wood is definitely one we want. Keith, lucky that renovation flipped. Keith can renovate with the well. Keith probably has to take 4 clay here or Reedstone food. Either one would be fine. He might take Reedstone food so he can try to build multiple rooms. Yeah, he wants more than 4 clay, so no, he can save on his renovation. So 4 clay is actually perfect. He probably wants 4 clay and 2 reed. That allows him to double build. So if he goes like 4 clay into the well and then 2 reed and what's it called next turn, the clay dude, he can go like double build and build a stable and trigger all his stuff. Obviously we take 4 wood here for sure. We'll probably take sheep second action. Island right now isn't set up to build a room, which is good for us. It means we can try to block possibly. Oh, I didn't see the sheep that Godkiller built stables. He can take our sheep. That is a problem. That's a big problem. Whatever, it's too late. I'm sure he will here, just because. Yeah, that's really bad for us. That's a disaster. That was a mistake on my part. Alright, so what do we do now? This triggers on take 2 clay. I guess we take Reedstone food here into playing Master Shepherd. But yeah, that is really rough. Oh, yucky, yucky. Yeah, so we messed this game up quite a bit. Island getting 6 wood here is obviously great for him. We can go. I don't know what we do here. This was just bad play on our part. Godkiller taking start player. Sure. Oh man. Keith might build a room here, but yeah, I don't know if he will. I think he has the card that you get 2 food into clay when you... Yeah, he plays this card, so we definitely want to build here. Room and a stable. We'll play, what's it called, second action. Master Shepherd, if we're allowed to. That will let us feed next harvest between the sheep we get and, what's it called? Island should take 2 reed here, which is good for us because it means Keith can't start player into build next turn. Island's Collector is interesting. It hasn't done literally anything yet. Don't know when exactly Island's planning on using it. Godkiller also needs to feed. Needs 3 food, so he might just fish here. Island fencing. Okay, so Island's going for Collector that way. Not going to be able to get it up in time for this harvest, though. So with Collector, you want to be able to take sheep, boar, cow, and then take sheep, boar, cow again and get them breeding. But Godkiller won't be able to, or Island won't be able to breed until this harvest. That's really bad for us. That means Keith can jump us next turn by taking... Oh, no, Keith needs food. Keith definitely can't jump us. Oh, no, Keith can't. Yeah, this is awful for us. Really, really bad. Ugh. Yeah, I think Godkiller's trying to figure out how they're going to feed. Taking Reedstone food is one way. Oh, they also have this food coming, so they'll be fine on feeding. But, yeah, Keith gets to jump us, because building a stable and a room allows Keith 2 food and a sheep that Keith can eat. Yeah, we messed this game up. Oh, we also can't play an Auk. I guess we have to fish here. So we could try taking 2 wood here and then building stable, but yeah, this isn't gonna work. This is really bad for us. At least we get an extra food here. It's good for Godkiller, but yeah. Oh, what a disaster. Losing those sheep was a bit of a train wreck. Godkiller plays Trimmer, so 2 stone when you fence doesn't necessarily seem strong for in this situation. Godkiller will also have to take traveling players or day labor to feed. Yeah, Keith is probably going to start player here, which is really bad for us. Ugly game. Ugly, ugly, ugly. keeps building right away, which makes some sense, I guess. But that's great for us. It means we will be able to family grow next round with um, Ram. So we'll either hopefully we'll get 2 sheep. If not, we will get actually no. So hopefully we'll get Ock. If not, we will. Oops. Play to farm. Now it's to board. I think this is the best way to plow. Yeah. Island needs food here, actually. Island might take traveling players, which would be good, because that means Godkiller is going to be in a rough spot. Godkiller will have to day labor. Want to cut all the food from Godkiller if possible. Interesting game. Yeah, I don't know if I like Godkiller building these stables, because like Godkiller never had any plan on what to do with these sheep, because I have the 2 clay fireplace, so it was always going to be forever before Godkiller could eat these sheep. Like if you want to sweep sheep like this, you really want to be set up to um, benefit from it. So we're gonna family grow with Ram, but we're not actually gonna be able to breed our sheep next round, unfortunately. Maybe we shouldn't have played. We shouldn't have played field. We should have played witches, dances, ground. That was a mistake. Man, sloppy game. I'm just playing badly. Ugh, I'm playing so badly. I guess I could play food critic next round. Maybe that's the play. If veggie flips, we have to take it. Taking a veggie and grain is too strong. So we go food, feed 4, and H. Yeah, I'm just playing really badly this game. Island will collector here. Oh, I forgot about Drinker of Absinthe. So Drinker and Absinthe and Housecoat, both me and Island, didn't need a feeding action here like I thought they would. Yeah, so I mean Island's game is interesting, but until they show a way to turn this into bonus points, I don't see what exactly their plan is. Yeah, so we're hoping veggie doesn't flip here. If it does, okay, good. If it did, I would have to take it, but now we can play food critic. So we obviously start family grow with Ram. So I might need a what's it called? I might need a feeding action next turn. I'll have so I'll have 2 sheep I can eat. Yeah, so I'll need 2 food somehow. I could try playing I could play nutrition expert, yeah. That I think is the play. I don't think free range chickens is coming out this game. Island taking clay. That's Keith will probably take 5 clay here, I imagine, to build another room. Yeah, and Keith should be safe. As long as Island doesn't start player here, Keith's family grows safe. So I think Keith should take 5 clay, because then if God Killer start players, Keith can build another room. Here we play Food Critic. No, so we still need a food action, actually. So we can play Nutrition Expert, and then we could... What do we want to do here? We can sow bake and bake a grain for Food Critic, and then that'll be the 2 food we need, and then with eating 1 sheep, eating this sheep, and eating the sheep we get from Nutrition Expert, we will... Oh wow, Animal Farm from Island. Very, very lucky open with Collector, and very sad that we didn't see this, because we would have loved it with Master Shepherd. Yeah, that's wild that Island opened Animal Farm after taking Collector. Okay, so Island's game is better. Still don't know exact... Island didn't take a begging card. This is bad for Keith. Island start... now Godkiller gets to jump Keith, so very unfortunate turn for Keith. Keith might take 2 read here. I don't know. Yeah, so my actions next round will be Veggie Grain, Ock, and so we can probably... I don't know how we want to do this. I don't know which we want to do first. Probably Ock. So is never getting blocked, and we should get Veggie back. Yeah, that's perfect for us, because it will harvest a grain and a veggie and breed sheep, which will trigger Bountiful Harvest. We'll be set up to start triggering Nutrition Expert. So yeah, that's definitely what we want to do. Sorry about that. I think that's a blender in the background. Island buying the well should increase their point cap, which they definitely need, because I think they're going to collect her again. Island also needs food. I assume they'll fish for it, probably. I'm not sure what Island's doing. Oh, probably placing their food, I guess. I guess with Drinker of Absinthe and Housego, Island actually is fed already. I think one of Island's actions will definitely be Collector, but so who knows what the other one will be? Maybe Forwood. Godkiller will Family Grow. Keith will play. Will maybe build a room. Island taking the boar. Keith might take 2 sheep as well. Yeah, I think our veggie take is safe. Godkiller doesn't have a way to eat veggies. Keith would take. Keith is building a room and taking something else. So, and Keith would probably take 2 sheep over over a veggie. So don't think he's taking a veggie. Island's definitely not taking a veggie. Yeah, so I don't see why anyone would take a veggie here. So yeah, we should play an Ock first. We're gonna. It's unfortunate that we can't take wood here, but it's definitely worth it to sow. Keith might just take wood here, actually. He can pay his harvest with the boar and the 2 food. Oh, he takes reed. That makes sense as well. Here we play an Ock. So we'll have 3 food for 5 and bake a grain for 6, 7. Yeah, so take a veggie into sow here. Easy actions. Bake a grain. And yeah, I don't think we're playing pumpkin pie this game. I think we would just want to use Nutrition Expert. For feeding. Island playing Cooking Earth. Interesting. Island's just not doing Collector, so Island thinks that being able to just like take a cow in one of these rounds and be breeding the sheep and boar is fine. Maybe Island is gonna take a guest, but I can never remember how you have to play cards like Animal Farm. I think you have until Island's next turn to decide whether you want a guest. But if Island doesn't play a guest by the next turn, it's definitely too late. I mean, we'll probably be nice and allow it to happen, but Island should announce by the time it comes to their next turn. I have to imagine Keith is building a room here. No, taking a sheep as well. Obviously, he's not taking a veggie when 2 sheep are there. So nobody is really taking wood. So we're going last, which is bad in terms of wood grabs. But I think there's a decent chance we still get a wood grab because Godkiller will be set up to build a room. So Keith will probably build a room. Maybe Keith will go for multiple room builds next time though. Key island -H plus K. Oh, that just announcing the animal farm. Don't believe Island actually removed the sheep though. Okay, 3 animals, grain, veggie, reedwood. That seems correct, yeah. I also forgot I could technically eat the bountiful harvest food if I wanted to here. I could sow the grain and then raw eat it and eat the bountiful harvest food, but that seems worse than just baking the grain. So there's going to be tons of wood next round, so we should be able to get one of them. We eat a sheep, feed 7. I don't know where to put this. Both the cooking hearths are gone, so we'll just put our box here. Oh. So, oh, yeah, I think I should do this here. So, 5 food, 2 points, and what's it called? We eat our sheep, and we'll get a sheep back, but we should eat the sheep right now. Yeah, so I like our setup. We should get a wood grab here, hopefully. Other than that, we'll probably take a cow to get another grain and maybe take another veggie. We can also plow. Yeah, I'd like to sow another grain and veggie by the next turn. Oh, I should play Debt Collector this round. That's definitely going to be one of my actions. So 6 wood, Debt Collector, take a cow probably. Hopefully we get 5 wood here, and I'll be disappointed if Keith takes 5 wood. And that's a bummer. Alright, what do we do? So there's a lot of pressure on plow, so I guess we plow. Yeah, we should plow. Taking a cow isn't actually that good for us. It gets us a grain, so maybe we should just take grain 3 food, but Other than that, it's not particularly great. Oh, there should be a veggie on Food Collector, or Food Critic. I would like to buy a guild this game. Joinery is not looking reasonable, but maybe we can go for BMW, depending. Yeah, really brutal not getting a wood grab there. I'm interested that Keith didn't build a room. Like, obviously wood's important in this game, but Keith building a room guarantees him a family growing around 11, but maybe he just thinks wood's more important. There is a decent amount of pressure on wood. I don't know. Island has plenty of wood. Godkiller has a decent amount of wood. We'll have to see. I'll second action Debt Collector, or maybe I think I'll take 4 clay if it comes back. Island building room makes sense. There goes the clay. So, yeah, I'm not sure what I want to do here. I definitely want to buy BMW for Food Critic. Eating a reed is eating building resources is 2 points. So, we definitely want ways to do that. Yeah, I'll play Debt Collector here, make sure we get it out. Also, I have to keep in mind Humble Farm Boy. So I believe Humble Farm Boy counts beggars. I think it's just cards in front of you. Use cards in front of them, receive 3 points. Oh, exclude begging cards. So, yeah, we are almost certainly not getting that. I think Keith is probably getting that. Man, Island just re-upping starting player over and over and over again. We'll start player first action next round to get whatever comes in 12. We're fine with both Plauso and, what's it called? I don't remember what it's called. Family Grow. And we'll get a grain. Here I'll just take a veggie, I think. I don't think I want to take a cow. Taking a cow is a grain and 3 food, and it cuts cows from other people. So next round, I'm Winches Dancing and Grounding, and then I can take a veggie and sow as my actions. Sure. I'm gonna struggle really bad for food, or for wood this game. So we go food, 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 grain, and then do we need another grain? I don't think so, actually. I guess if we want to sow next round. Sure, we'll do this. Then we take food, food. Oh, this triggers our Food Critic. So we're pretty set for food here for the rest of the game between Ram and the other cards. Yeah, so we really want to start player Witch's Dancing Ground next round. We don't need a ton of fences this game. We're gonna have Witch's Dance's Ground. We're gonna plow sow. And I guess we can sow late, fence late, because we're just gonna be turning all of our animals into points. But yeah, I mean, this is an interesting game. Yeah, I have such a crazy amount of food now that I think of it. Oh no, Island's gonna sow. That's bad for us. That makes taking this pretty bad. Um, I guess it's fine. We can just plow sow. But, ugh, that's unfortunate. Oh god, not getting start player here is brutal. That's really, really awful for us. I'll take a veggie next round, or next action, so I can sow if possible. But, oh god, this is so bad for us. Golem for Godkiller, very strong card. Makes sense why he's taking start player, so he can double Plowso if Plowso comes. Can't double Family Grow, so that's not incredible, but yeah. Here I'll take a veggie. I assume Island will sow here, but obviously we're hoping that he doesn't. Oh, I forget he's family growing. He's gonna try to sow on his lettuce patch, I guess, but this is really greedy. Oh, no, never mind. Keith built a room. Keith building a room there is great for us. It means we will get a sow this round, which is super important, I think. So I'll probably take 3 clay. There's enough wood that I don't know if I have to take 3 wood actions. I can probably get away with taking like 4 wood actions, maybe. I could also just maybe not fence this game. I'll have to see. Yeah, so Island's game is looking pretty good. Island's had very efficient actions, so if Island's able to make up, I think Island will be able to make up for these begging cards. I'll also have a lot of bonus points, but my farm's going to be pretty ugly as far as fencing goes. Very definitely so. Oh, I also need a fish at some point this game. Mm-hmm. Got Killer playing Tapestry Weaver. Good for them. Some points. I'll probably take 3 clay last action here. Make sure I can reno. 4 clay doesn't really do anything for me. I don't plan on buying a clay oven this game. I really want to be able to buy a guild. Hopefully BMW. So I'm gonna have a good amount of bonus points between Bountiful Harvest giving me 4 points. Food Critic will be 4 points. Or yeah, 4 points. Well, maybe less. So A and veggie. So what are the breakpoints on this again? So just taking a boar will put me to 5, and taking fishing will put me to 6. So yeah, that's probably what I'll do this game. There goes the 3 clay. So my options are, I have no ox left, so I can play I can take reedstone food, I guess, to set up for BMW, or I can take 3 wood. I should be able to get BMW this game. Maybe I just don't renovate. I don't really need to renovate this game. Yeah, I'm not really interested in taking 3 wood. Other people don't seem super interested in taking wood actions. Obviously, Island doesn't need them at all. Keith didn't build a stable with his room. That's... Oh, he removed one for storage shed. Okay. So we eat a sheep, or sorry, food. So we feed and -1 more. Harvest these. I think I'll convert next round. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. Oh, I didn't. I think Keith wants to build another room, so we're fine there. Oh, Keith also has, what's it called? Probably Master Builder. Interesting. You normally Master Builder for a stone room, but Master Buildering for a clay room allows you to basically spend a stone for a point and 2 food. Or Master Building with the rustic is what I mean. Crazy that Keith has only played 1 miner so far. I guess he didn't get Family Grow this round, so that's interesting. We'll definitely start player in round 12, so we can both take Family Grow and Plow Sow. ILN took 3 wood, sure, whatever. Again, there's a chance we just don't fence this game. Just bank on our bonus points carrying us, and Witch's Dance is ground doing work. So my action, we eat a sheep, eat a grain, and eat a veggie for 5 food. Hopefully Keith doesn't start player here. Hello, Mr. Fried. I guess I would call myself a gamer. I play a lot of board games, and I play Magic, The Gathering, and card games. I don't play a ton of video games, but yeah, I mean, if you're talking about board games and card games, I definitely would consider myself a gamer. Let me play this. If you're not familiar, this game is called Agricola. It's a very fun board game. It's my favorite game. And it involves worker placement and resource management, things like that. Yeah, so in this game, it's normally played with 4 people, and you are all farmers trying to improve your farm by plowing fields, building rooms and growing your family, and taking animals. Uh, Essentially, the game works on this board here, and each round people take turns placing their family members on the spaces, and everybody's basically competing for the same spaces. So you want to take higher priority actions, more valuable actions first, and you gain an advantage in this game by like being able to identify what actions are best. Um, so this game, oh nice, animal welfare is for Keith. So Keith has assembled sort of a combo where he's gonna build rooms, and that he's gonna build a room and then fence. I assume next round he'll try to do that. I think we'll have to just give up on fencing this game. So we should be fine as far as BMW goes. I don't think other people are buying it, so I can take 4 clay here, and then so I don't know. I could take 3 reed here, but then if Godkiller plays Basket Makers to block me, that'd be a bit of a disaster. I can just buy the Basket Makers, and then nobody else should be interested in the reed. But that could be a problem if Keith decides to take the 3 reed and try to build 2 more rooms. I think Keith is only building 1 more room, so I think I'm fine to take the 3 reed here, or buy Basket Makers. I think. The thing to consider here is it worth it to renovate? And it probably is. I think I should take 3 reed and 4 clay. 3 reed is more of a priority because it protects my Basket Makers. It gives everybody else less incentive, and I can just buy Basket Makers without renovating if somebody takes the 4 clay, which I definitely will with my 3rd action. I can also consider buying and taking a veggie here. Taking a veggie would allow me to convert 1 more time. I could convert here and here because I'm going to sow a grain and a veggie, but I can get a grain when I plow sow from Outrider. You get the grain before the action. So we'd be fine to, what's it called? There goes the clay, so I have to decide between major mining Basket Makers here and taking the veggie. I think because I'm not fencing, I'm a little bit worried about my points, so I think I'm gonna take the veggie. Ken plays a grain fences. Okay, that doesn't combo with Animal Welfarist, but I guess he's just playing a free miner to trigger his stable thing. Yeah, I'll take a veggie here. Taking a veggie is a good number of points. Do I need the points? Let's see. So how does this work? So I guess the question isn't do I need the points, it's do I need the food. So I have 12 food. I need 8 food for this harvest and 9 food for this harvest. Maybe 10 if I family grow. I need to eat 1 reed, so I'm at 15 food. And then converting one more time will be 20 food. So my food is covered, actually. I don't need any more food. And I'll probably eat a boar too and take fishing. So I don't need the food. So I'd be converting an animal, a vegetable, and a grain into basically 2 points. Um, is that worth it? Probably not. So my grain breakpoints, I will have I'll have one more grain and I'll sow a grain, so that's 6, 7. So my grain breakpoints are actually good. So yeah, I want to buy the basket makers here. Also, just guarantee I get it. Let me line up my ox. I hate how they stack over each other. So yeah, my score is not going to be great. I'll have a lot of bonus points though. We'll have to see. Um, yeah, I don't agree with Keith's thinking here. Gray and Fences doesn't say the space reads differently. Um, yeah, whatever. It's 3 versus 1, so it shouldn't matter. But it also probably doesn't matter because Keith doesn't have any crops. It protects his fences, I guess, in case somebody else wants to fence. So I believe there's cards that specifically read, like, for you, this action. Um, I can't remember what card it is. Island taking starting player is a bummer for us, but it's fine. I can take wood here. I should take boars, I think. I could take stone, maybe. Taking boars is good for... so taking boars is a 3-point action because I can eat the boar and... what's it called? So I put the boar here, which is 2 points, and I get 2 points for taking the boar, but it costs me a bountiful harvest point. Assuming I'm able to fence next round, I'll be able to trigger bountiful harvest next round, but I have to think whether I will be able to do that. I guess holding the boar is 2 points no matter what, which makes up for the bountiful harvest point. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. Nobody else can fence right now, so it really shouldn't matter for Keith, unless he's trying to do it in round 14 as well. Wow, Clay going very aggressively. I guess Island just wants to make sure he can Reno, which makes sense. I assume he's going to Reno joinery. So we're not going to be able to Reno because there's 3 Renos left. Yeah, I definitely need to take wood. I guess, yeah, my sheep will be fine to breed. How does this card read? So this card is in G deck, so let me look up the compendium ruling for it. Why is this the first result? What happened to the old result? I'm definitely taking 3 wood here. Where is this? Here we go. Bountiful harvest. I don't know if you have to. I guess it says breed at least 1 animal, so I assume that means place an animal on your farm. Um, hmm. Let me look at the ruling on this. Um, I guess I'll also need to eat an animal for my nutrition expert. So I should just eat the boar with it, I think. Um, Looks like Keith is going to go for the another room, possibly. Um, I don't know how exactly he plans to do it. He can take a clay, but he's going to need more reed as well. Um, yeah, my game is not looking great. I have plenty of bonus points, but um, my farm is just so ugly. I own playing furniture carpenter, so 5 food for 2 points. Not a good exchange, but this farm's good enough that it might be fine. Yeah, God Killer has a pretty good farm. Keith has um, Keith's farm. We might be able to beat Keith's farm. Keith has no fields, so we probably won't get last, but I think Island probably has us beat with his fences and everything. Keith plays lumber, which might be useful for us, depending. Um, he can take a clay, but yeah, he still needs one more reed to do what he wants to do. So fishing is a 2 point action for us. Uh, Interesting. Keith might not have Master Builder. Um, so yeah, we really want you to not have to place a newborn on your farm. Uh, yeah, it's very ambiguous. Let me check the Agricola rules. Hi, Yellow Lemming. So Agricola is a board game that if you're familiar with the concept of Euro games, Agricola is a Euro game, so it involves resource management and worker placement, and the way you interact with other players is indirectly by competing for resources instead of like directly affecting their board. Um, but, so I'm just looking at the rules right now to try to figure out how the ruling would work, but oops. Where is the harvest? Okay. So it looks like it has to be able to be held. Is this the new version or the old version? This is the new version. Okay. Yeah, so this is the actual game. This is the board, and all these circles are workers. Um, sorry. Yeah, so you place peeps on all these spaces, and they do various things. The eventual goal of the game is to build up your farm, which are these four things, with fields, animals, grain and vegetables, and fences, as well as rooms and family members. And all of those things are worth points, and whoever has the highest scoring farm at the end of the game wins. And that's essentially it. So this interface isn't great if you're not familiar with the game. It's sometimes hard to tell exactly what's going on, but it's a fun game. If you like board games, I would definitely recommend it. So actions I need to take here. Oh, I shouldn't have this sheep. I would like to fence, so I'll take 3 wood, I think, or 4 wood. And that sets me up. I can either fence or build stables. I'd rather fence, but I'll build stables if I have to. I'll probably family grow first action, actually. No. So this is a paper board game, and this site I'm playing on, playagricola.com, allows you to play the board game online. But no, so this is like a real life board game that you can play. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon or whatever in a board game store. And yeah, this is just a way to play it online. I believe there's a version of it available for like iPhones or uh, iPads or stuff, but I haven't played that version, so I don't know exactly how it works. Yeah, so I guess I'll explain why I like Agricola so much. So apart from just like being a very interesting game where you where there's a lot of like nuanced competition and uh, how do I say this? Just a lot of like things you have to think about. Every game of Agricola is different because of these cards you see on the right and bottom of all of our farms. So these are called occupations and minor improvements. And the occupations and minor improvements that you start with every game are going to be different. And so that changes how you play throughout the game. So I have to think here. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I obviously won't be able to build stables, but I think I should family grow over building stables anyways. Yeah, building stables allows me to hold animals while still breeding, but that's just worse than just taking a 3-point action, so this is fine. Also, if it comes back to me, I need a fish, so everybody is pretty good for food, but yeah. Oh, I guess what God Killer was doing is fencing blocks Keith's ability. Keith really wants to fence and build rooms in Reno Major because Keith could have built a room with his stable, I think. No, I guess he would have needed Reed to do that, so it was going to be hard to do no matter what. Island building stables, which blocks Keith, which is fine. Yeah, I don't think I'm winning this game, but I still have a shot. Nobody else needs to sow, so I can wait forever to do that. Yeah, I think Alan has this with Collector. Yeah, even with begging cards, has a 44. Gonna have 2 points plus 2 more points, I believe. So the normal way you play Agricola is with 4 people. At least that's what normally happens online. But you can play with 5 people or even 6. In the Yeah, you can also play with 6, but I don't have much experience playing with 6. Definitely 4 is the most normal. You can play with less. You can play by yourself. You can play with 2 people, or you can play with 3 people. And yeah, so it's technically 1 to 6, but I can't really vouch for 6-player gameplay. I think it's significantly different than the other gameplays, but most of the time it's 4 people. My score is looking pretty not great. So Food Critic's going to be 6 points. I have 6 points here, 4 points here. So I'm going to have over 40. But yeah, that's obviously not going to be good enough this game. Yeah, God Killer and Island, I both have that beat. So I probably have a what's it called? 3rd place game. Oh, what similar game do you have, Yellow Lemming? Yeah, my score is looking like so 16, 17, 18, 19, 21 points on 23, 43. So, okay. I've heard of that game. I haven't played it, so I don't know how similar the games are, but I believe that's a Euro game. So yeah, I think they are somewhat similar in terms of mechanics. So yeah, if you're a fan of Euro type worker placement games, I would definitely recommend Agricola, at least checking it out. God Killer plays Village Peasant, so gonna be 2 veggies. This is an interesting card. I guess it's pretty strong, but didn't really work with what I was doing. Keith will be getting the, what's it called, points. Village Fool. So Keith has 6 points on top of his score. So I think Keith is winning this game. Keith does what? Oh, took cows, I guess. We will sell. Yeah, so not the best game. Let me check something. So I'm pretty sure. So in round 13, I added grain kind of late because I think I forgot to get it when I plow sowed. But I didn't actually check to make sure I didn't take it. So I want to check and make sure I'm not doing anything wrong here. Yeah, it looks like I didn't take the grain. Yeah, so here we take 2 read with our last action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna end with a ton of extra food. Oh wow, milking hand for Keith too. Yeah, strong game for Keith. I think he has it. Yeah, Island showing the power of Collector, but not quite getting there. I'm very sad again that we couldn't wheel it. It's possible I should have taken Collector over. Actually, Island's game is alright, but oh, what? Why did I think Keith's score was way higher? Never mind. Godkiller might have Island beat, but Island might win. I think I conflated Keith's score and Godkiller's score, but yeah, who knows? So we have 25 plus 17, 42. Yeah. So obviously it depends on how experienced you are with the game. Normally I would say a game takes around somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours if you're relatively experienced. Your first game probably will take longer, maybe like 2.5 hours, but once you get to know the game, yeah, I would say between an hour and a half to 2 hours. So looks like Godkiller was the winner. Had a very good game. Makes sense. Had first family grow. Got second family grow before Keith could family grow. Yeah, just a strong game. Interesting that it's that high. 59 seems a little bit high, but who knows? I said earlier I wanted to check out the draft, see whether um, whether the collector pick was right, or right. Sorry, what am I saying? Whether the nutritionist pick was right over collector. 331 900. 100. Me. Oh, God. I cannot type apparently. Jet Collector looks like Fisherman's Apprentice is way stronger than I thought. Bagpiper is also strong, so I did not realize Fisherman's Apprentice was so strong. That's interesting. Um, yeah, I guess in that case I should have taken Fisherman's Apprentice. Bagpiper I knew was strong, but yeah, I mean I just wanted I I don't know. I maybe that pick was wrong. This pick this pick was trash, but this is the pick with Collector. Okay, so Nutrition Expert apparently has no power. I think that's just because I don't know if that's because there is no power rankings for these cards, or it is just actually bad. But Collector definitely should have been the pick in retrospect. So that was a mistake. That was the main thing I wanted to look at. What else? Village Peasant better than Master Shepherd, sure. Village Druid. I think Village Druid was fine over Bagpiper. Hollow Warden was definitely the pick. Food Critic was definitely the pick. Evening Prayer I like here, even though Beehive's technically higher power, which is Dancing in Ground I like over Swimming Class. Yeah, this pick sucked, but I did not want to pass Pumpkin Pie to the Collector, so I stand by this decision. I think Island won easily if I passed him Pumpkin Pie. Bountiful Harvest over House Goat was correct. Ram was definitely correct. Yeah, so looks like the main mistake I made was not taking Collector, but I guess I know that in the future. So thank you all for watching. I will see you guys sometime later. I might even play another game later today, but thanks for watching.